Hey there, everybody. Chief Meteorologist Tim Buckley with you now at this 7 o'clock hour, wanting to kind of do a deep dive on our local weather. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on right now, what we're going to see the rest of the night tonight, and where we're going all the way through the future. This right here, it's our News 2 Weather Impact Alert. We issue these whenever we expect the weather to be pretty inconvenient for your life, or in some cases, dangerous. This one definitely falls into the inconvenient category, just because it's going to be kind of nasty outside for the next couple of days. We have this alert all the way through tomorrow and could even extend it into Thursday morning because that heavy rain is going to still be around. One of the things we have been watching and thankfully haven't seen much of yet, but we could still possibly see a little freezing rain developing. That would mostly be for our northernmost counties, especially near the Virginia border and around the foothills. The rest of us get a cold rain, and that is the case as we go through tonight. Even still, want to watch out for bridges. Check before you step when you're leaving your home. That's kind of the best thing to do because you can't always see if there is a thin layer of ice that may have developed. Notice our temperatures. This is in Greensboro anyway. Observed over the last 20 hours, we've been budging between 38 and 33 degrees. It's really raw, to say the least. And this is what the sky looks like. Our current conditions on our Greensboro weather camera downtown, right there along Elm Street. You'll notice a couple things. The clouds are thick. Those little pixels here indicates we have some drizzle kind of sticking to our lens right now. I mentioned the temperature is 33. It's always important when you're considering freezing rain to look at the dew point. The dew point, you can think of it this way. It's basically the absolute minimum temperature that the air could cool down to. Right now our dew point's at 31. We'd like it to be above 32. We'll see how it goes the rest of the night. All across the area, temperatures are either 32 or 33. That means freezing rain is possible, and it will be a close call as we go through the rest of the night tonight. Rain totals so far vary quite a bit across the area. We've gotten kind of one big burst of rain with the system so far, and it amounted to about 1/3 of an inch to as much as 1/2 of an inch. This is your latest live radar. I've overlaid the temperature on here so you can kind of get a full picture all at once. A lot of times when you're tracking at home with a winter weather scenario, you might see these different colors. The pink is meant to represent freezing rain and the purple is meant to represent sleet. It doesn't always quite match up with what's going on the ground. It's very much just an estimate. But so far, we've basically just had scattered rain throughout the day today, and there's a lot more of that to come. You take a look all the way from Texas to Tennessee. Flip that and reverse it. Texas to Tennessee. You do have some steady to even heavy rain at times, and this is overlaying the same area over and over again. I'll tell you, they're going to get more rain than we are, but it is coming our way too. Once we get into the day tomorrow and early Thursday, we'll see some of that heavier rain pushing our way. There is a snowstorm component to this weather system. Of course, it's not here, but it's not that far away either. Richmond, Virginia, Fredericksburg, up to D.C., Northern Virginia, parts of West Virginia, all the way over to the Delmarva. They're getting really good snow out of this thing. The white, by the way, does represent snow. That darker blue represents heavy snow, and there have been a couple of heavy snow bands right there in Virginia, even including parts of the nation's capital. It's one of the suburbs of D.C. up there in Northern Virginia. This is Fairfax, Virginia. One of our live cameras that we can show you here does indicate quite a bit of accumulation. Looks like most people are staying off the roads. This is rush hour too. There's not a lot going on up that way. Let's take a look at Futurecast. The weather setup for the system. We did have high pressure in control, which was sending us that chilly air throughout the storm. That high has left us alone, and so we're not really replenishing the cold air supply, which usually means we're able to bump our temperature up a little bit. If that happens tonight, we're not going to have any freezing rain. So let's hope that that's true. We'll still be right around that freezing mark, so it's going to be a close call. Another round of rain is going to kind of move on in as we go into tomorrow. We'll get a couple of these different waves with this weather system. Not raining 24/7, but there will be different rounds of heavy rain pushing on through. The last of those rounds would be Thursday morning. That's ahead of this cold front, which packs a bit of a punch with wind and a temperature change. We'll see temperatures cooling off behind it, but actually we see some sunshine Thursday afternoon. with temperatures in the 50s. That'll be the nicest that we will be over the next week, I think, because our cold weather is really punching back. Let's get back to the here and now, our hour-by-hour Futurecast model. This is estimating where the rain will be, where the freezing rain will be, and what the temperature will be, okay? So this is around midnight tonight. In its opinion, it has pretty heavy rain around here around that time, with temperatures just barely above freezing. It keeps the freezing rain pretty much confined to the North Carolina mountains and right around the Virginia border. I think that's probably what will happen here, but even so, it wouldn't take much for that freezing rain line to get a couple counties south. Hopefully it doesn't happen. Heading into tomorrow has most of the rain in the morning, then a bit of a break for the afternoon, and then more rain for tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening, finishing off on Thursday morning. So there's still really a lot to go with this particular weather system, with a few more rounds of rain. 1 to 2 inch rainfall totals still are likely on top of what has already fallen. So we do have a lot to go with this weather system. A couple bullet points for you just to kind of summarize our thinking with this particular storm. Cold rain is going to be the way that this is most of the rest of the way. There could be some freezing rain every now and then, as I said, mostly for our northern counties, and that would more likely be tonight and tomorrow morning, not after that. Once you get to midday tomorrow, we're not going to have any more freezing conditions. Can't rule out some slick bridges, overpasses, sidewalks, staircases, those type of things. Check before you step outside. That's what I would say for you. Cold rain will still be with us all the way through Thursday morning. Just to kind of illustrate on a map who would be more likely to have some of that freezing rain from this point forward. Anybody south of I-40 in the green, you're not going to get that. It will all be rain for you. Farther north, this is kind of the in-between category. Mostly rain in this lighter shade of pink, but on occasion, there could be a little bit of a glaze that develops on surfaces. I wouldn't expect all that much. Farther off to the north, all bets are off here. The North Carolina mountains really could get a good amount of ice out of this thing and could have some bad impacts too. Same story for northern Wilkes County, parts of Surrey, parts of Stokes, and up toward the Virginia border. That's where freezing rain could start to accumulate a bit more and weigh things down a little bit. Let's talk about a timeline for you. As we go through the rest of this evening, the roads are fine out there. There aren't any problems going on. We'll have cold rain on again, off again. Through tonight, we've got to watch that 32-degree line, don't we? Some ice possible north of it. Otherwise, it'll be mostly cold rain. Tomorrow morning, watch for a slick spot here or there, but otherwise, cold rain on and off again throughout the daytime hours on your Wednesday. Hey, we can look ahead in the future too, can't we? Once we get past that system, we're going to have some dry weather for Thursday afternoon, dry weather for Friday. Valentine's Day looking pretty nice around here. It's just going to be cold in the 40s. But looking ahead toward the weekend, this would be Saturday. We're going to start the day off dry. This is the European computer model. Looks like a good chance of scattered rain across our area from lunchtime Saturday into Saturday evening. Most of those showers pretty light, kind of gloomy and messy. On Sunday, that's going to be a flip-flop day where you have the morning having a better chance of rain and thunderstorms, but the afternoon is actually likely to be pretty dry. The mountains will get some snow out of this thing on Sunday, and then we work our way toward a dry start to next week. Monday and Tuesday look to be dry as well, but pretty cold, and you're going to start to hear a lot about this. I know a lot of the phone apps have already latched onto this. There is potential with the weather pattern that we could have some more winter weather to track by Wednesday and Thursday of next week. I'm here to tell you, as the meteorologist, 8 days away is a fantasy game when it comes to winter weather. We'll watch it. It does look like a good weather pattern, but kind of check yourself with this one. There's a lot that we don't know about it just yet. We'll let you know how we get a little bit closer. Rain potential over the next week is very impressive. 2 to 3 inches locally is possible. That would include the rain that's coming this weekend as well. North Carolina mountains even worse. 5 to 6 inches is possible. Many of the Helene areas are likely to get the most rain that they have had since that hurricane. And we're going to be watching out there to see if there are any bad impacts or flooding as a result. There is a drought across the state. This should do a good number on what we're seeing when it comes to drought status and kind of help us clear things out. That's the good news, is that a lot of this rain that does fall will be pretty beneficial. And just a refresher for you here, why do we have differences with rain and sleet and freezing rain? Well, it all has to do with how the warm air is stacked in the atmosphere. When you have a little bit of warm air above the surface, that can make some sleet. When you have a lot of it, that can make freezing rain. And When it's warm everywhere, well, you have regular old rain. We're pretty familiar with that around the Triad. Looking ahead in the forecast here, we have our News 2 Weather Impact Alert Day still for tomorrow because it's mostly a washout when it comes to the rainfall. Watch the morning. There could be some slick spots that develop, and that will be something to keep an eye on. As far as Thursday goes, heavy rain is likely in the morning, but it tapers off for the afternoon, and we have a nice finish to the day. Valentine's Day looks fine. So do Monday and Tuesday, but the weekend kind of gloomy out there. If you want to get outside, I'd recommend Sunday afternoon.